Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the game review. Everton were victorious on Wednesday night by beating Pumas 1-0, completing our trip to Orlando, Florida with another win, which was absolutely brilliant. And we're going to sit down and talk about the game today. Like I said, Everton have now returned back to the UK after their week-long trip to Orlando, Florida to compete in the Florida Cup. We have returned with the Florida Cup, of course, after beating Millonarios on penalties last Sunday and playing Pumas UNAM in a friendly on Wednesday evening, and were victorious by a goal 2-0. So undefeated, 2 games, 2 wins over in Florida. Some really good experience for this for the players. Hot weather training, warm weather training, very difficult, and obviously an amazing opportunity for the Toffees over in America to get to watch Everton Football Club for what will for most of them be the first time, or certainly again, which was absolutely amazing as well. We're going to sit down, we're going to talk about the game in all of its detail. We're going to talk about Moise Kean's goal, we're going to talk about James Rodriguez, Damari Gray, who looked absolutely brilliant again, and Josh Townsend, Asmir Begovic, and all of that good stuff in today's live stream. If you're watching it live, get your thoughts in the live comments and we'll get involved with as many of them as possible. If you're watching it as a YouTube video, get your thoughts in the comment section down below and we'll get involved with as many of them as possible as well. If you're enjoying it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And anyway, let's get straight into it. So obviously Everton debuted the new 2021-2022 third kit in this game. I think that's probably one of the biggest bits of information to start with. Absolutely unbelievable third kit, of course. I said it on was it Wednesday morning when we done the review of the third kit and we spoke about the kit and the training gear and all of that sort of stuff. I said that for anybody that doesn't quite like the kit or isn't quite I suppose sold on it yet, then let's wait and see what it looks like on the players or on Wednesday night and see how we feel then. And again, I really like the kit anyway, even from sort of first look. I thought it was really smart, I thought it was fantastic, but seeing it on the players on Wednesday night, it just looked even better, to be honest with you. It looked even better. You can see Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Luca Dean to the side of me there wearing it, but when the players walked out onto the Camping World Stadium, or into the Camping World Stadium onto the pitch to play Pumas, it just looked absolutely brilliant. Obviously Asmir Begovic was wearing the new third goalkeeper strip as well, the orange strip. We'd seen that before, of course, on Sunday night, but again, that looked absolutely fantastic as well. And Everton started the game really bright, I thought. Quick, the tempo was high, seeming a lot fitter than we did, against Millonarios. The start of the game against Millonarios was a little bit slower. We come into our own in the second half, but in the first half, we just seemed like they were a lot fitter than us. They were, obviously, I think they're midway through their season, so they obviously going to be fitter, but you could see the real lack of fitness that Everton possessed on Sunday night, whereas on Wednesday we seemed to be out the start really quickly, and we looked like we'd gained, even though it was only 2 or 3 days between both games, it looked like we'd gained a considerable amount of fitness in those 2 or 3 games. One thing I would say, which I think is important to point out, is that the weather on Wednesday night was slightly cooler than it was on Sunday. It was still 27-28 degrees, so it was still absolutely boiling to play football in, but it was considerably cooler than it was on Sunday, I believe, so the players would have been, feeling a little bit more comfortable playing on Wednesday night, and the weather is obviously, one of the big factors of going over to a place like Florida over in pre-season, because it's really difficult to play football in those types of conditions. It's really difficult to get the most out of you and get to your fittest and be the most competitive when you're playing at 28, 29, 30 degree weather, and that's the whole point of Everton going over to Florida, I think, is to make sure that when we get back to the UK, our fitness is absolutely spot on leading into the Premier League season, because we've been over there and we've trained in those warm conditions and we've played 2 competitive games in extremely warm conditions. So like I said, we looked a little bit fitter from the off. I thought we looked like we wanted to go at Pumas, we wanted to break them down quickly, and there wasn't many, whereas the start of the Millonarios game we were giving the ball away quite sloppily. I thought we weren't keeping control of it. They were coming at us and creating opportunities where there was none of that. On Sunday night, Everton were the team that were Wednesday night, Everton were the team that were, trying to break the play down, trying to get in the opposition half and trying to create chances. And there was no Everton player that was doing that more than Demarai Gray, was there? I thought Demarai Gray was absolutely outstanding. First start for Everton Football Club, of course, after signing last week. Come on as a substitute against Millenarios and scored the penalty, but I thought he was absolutely brilliant on Wednesday night. Started the game, like I said, and from the off, he was straight at it. He was direct. He was wanting to take players on. He was moving into the right spaces. He was picking the ball up. He was running with it. He was nicking the ball off defenders. He was causing Pumas and Pumas defenders a real struggle. And that's exactly the type of player that we need. Now, again, I know we're only, 2 games in to Demarai Gray's Everton career. Not even 2 games in. He's played 45 minutes in both games in Orlando, hasn't he? So technically he's only played 1 full game for Everton. So I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves and don't want to get too over the top. But he is the bargain of the summer so far. No, what are you messing? No, but he does. He genuinely does look like he's going to offer Everton something that we just don't have anywhere else, and that's that directness. Up top. How many times did we sit here last season and say we don't have any players who pick the ball up and just want to move that way? For as good as James Rodriguez is, and he's absolutely unbelievable, and I hope he stays at Everton beyond this season, and his creativity is beyond anything else that we've got at the club. He is technically the best footballer at the club. But he doesn't pick the ball up and move with it. If you give James Rodriguez the ball in the right areas, he will more than likely play an unbelievable pass on an unbelievable cross, or he will find the striker or the wingers like that comfortably with his eyes closed. He won't even have to think about it. But he's not going to be a player who picks the ball up at the halfway line and moves that way at pace. He's a player that'll pick the ball up in the right areas. He'll find the right areas, he'll pick the ball up in the right areas, and then he'll play passes and crosses. Into the forward line, whereas Demarai Gray's a bit different. Demarai Gray, as we saw on Wednesday night, was picking the ball up and moving. He was picking the ball up. He was getting to the right hand side or the left hand side. He was throwing balls in. We saw it for the goal, of course. Picks the ball up in the centre of the midfield and plays an excellent ball through to Moise Kean. So Demarai Gray looked really good on Wednesday night. He looked direct. He looked almost like he had a bit of a point to prove. Almost like he sort of, he sort of accepted the opportunity to start, and he wanted to go out and prove as to why he should be playing, constant games of football for Everton in the Premier League and in pre-season. And I think that's why you have seen, so much out of Demarai Gray so far in his first couple of games at Everton, including, obviously, taking the penalty when Nathan Broad had won it on Sunday night. He went over, he grabbed it, he said, I'm taking it. The assist on Wednesday night against Pumas, the directness of him. I think he's trying to say to Rafael Benitez, look, I'm not just a player that's going to come in and I can be a squad player and I can come on in the 70th minute of Premier League games. I'm somebody that can start games. I'm somebody you can trust to make an impact. And he certainly did. I was really impressed with Demarai Gray. Obviously, all 3 new signings started. Andros Townsend and Asmir Begovic did as well. Asmir Begovic had a let's be honest, quite a quiet first half. I think there was one opportunity for Pumas towards the end of the first half where one of their players had a shot and it sort of swerved in the air, and Asmir Begovic ended up getting, a hand to it and tipping it over the bar. But other than that, he didn't really have to do much whatsoever. And Andros Townsend was sort of in and out the game, wasn't he? I suppose he wasn't awful, he wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination, but he certainly wasn't as involved as we maybe would have liked him to have been. He wasn't as involved as he was against Millenarios, of course, when he hit that rocket of a shot that very nearly went in. But he just couldn't quite get his foot in the game. He just couldn't quite get a foot on the ball and move forward with it. Same with Alex Iwobi, really. He couldn't really get his foot on the ball either. He had one shot where it was quite unlucky, to be fair, but other than that, he couldn't really get into the game, and I think Andros Townsend was the same. But Demarai Gray on the other hand was absolutely outstanding. Everton get their first chance of the game quite early on, actually, as Demarai Gray picks the ball up on the right hand side, intercepts a ball from a Pumas defender, gets into a good area, dinks the ball over to Moise Kean, really clever sort of chip up to Moise Kean, and Moise Kean opts with the chest and volley rather than taking it down and shooting. No real issue with it, to be fair. If it had gone in, I think we'd have all been absolutely made up and we'd have all been dancing and jumping around. But Moise Kean chests it down, volleys it, and the goalkeeper ends up making a comfortable save in the end. But it was the first chance of the game for Everton. It was the first opportunity for us to see that partnership between Demarai Gray and Moise Kean, and how they could potentially work maybe in the future, depending obviously on what Moise Kean's future looks like and whether or not that'll be at Everton Football Club. But a great ball in by Demarai Gray and a first good chance for Moise Kean. And not long after that, of course, Everton continue to Everton continue to get forward, continuing to be a threat. Everton continue to get forward. I think a couple of crosses were put into the box and were defended well. There was an opportunity where the ball was just bouncing around the box at one point, and I think Moise Kean had a go at trying to get, put it in the back of the net. Moise Kean had a go trying to put it in the back of the net. I think Alex Iwobi had a go as well, but it ended up just fumbling back to the goalkeeper. But in the 20th minute, Everton opened the scoring. Demarai Gray again, as I've just said, picking that ball up in the centre of midfield and playing an absolute worldie of a pass. I know it's only pre-season, and I know Pumas, probably aren't at the level of most Premier League clubs, but I'm not really bothered. I'm getting carried away with this. It's an absolutely worldly pass. He's facing the complete other way. He plays a perfectly timed, perfectly weighted pass across the defender into Moise Kean. Moise Kean gets one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and you're thinking, surely he can't miss this. Surely he can't miss this. He has a shot. It gets saved by the goalkeeper. Goes under his body. He gets a second bite of the cherry and he puts it in to the back of the net. He runs off, he celebrates, he does the little dance in front of all the Evertonians, and everyone is made up. Great to see Moise Kean, of course, scored his first goal for Everton this pre-season, and his first goal for Everton, of course, in returning from his loan at PSG. He seemed happy about it. To be honest with you, he seemed happy about it. There's been this mad, weird thing going on social media about, Moise Kean doesn't smile, so that means he doesn't want to be at Everton. Not really. There's a lot of players at Everton that don't really smile. Richarlison very rarely smiles. So I wouldn't take anything out of that. But Moise Kean, like I said, opens the scoring for Everton, makes it 1-0. Probably should have scored the first attempt. I think he was sort of caught in, I was going to say 2 minds, but he was probably caught in about 3 or 4 minds, really. You could see on his face as he's running in one-on-one with the goalkeeper, he's thinking, right, do a slot it right, do a slot it left, do a chip it over him, do a, hit it straight at him, and I think he was just caught in between all of that and ended up hitting the ball pretty much straight at the goalkeeper. Keeper makes a save, but unfortunately for Pumas, it ends up going under him, and fortunately for Moise Kean, he gets on the end of the rebound and he makes it 1-0. Brilliant pass by Demarai Gray, and let's be honest, a lucky finish by Moise Kean, but nevertheless we'll take it. Who cares? Listen, it's a goal and we'll take that all day long. So Everton go 1-0 up. Like I said, really strong start to the game, getting out there quick, using our pace, using our energy, creating opportunities. Like I said, Demarai Gray looking fantastic, Moise Kean getting in the right areas. We had the chested volley which he missed, which the keeper saved, and he had obviously the goal, which again it could have been prettier, but he was getting in the right areas. And that's the most important thing. Everton again, like I said, continue to threaten, getting down that left hand side. Demarai Gray again looking absolutely fantastic. Andros Townsend trying to get his foot on the ball, but couldn't really do it. Moise Kean getting into the right areas. Like I said, we had that opportunity where the ball was bouncing around in the box, couldn't quite make the most of it, but ended up going to the Pumas goalkeeper. At this point, Pumas weren't having much in the game whatsoever. Our defence had a very a very quiet night so far. Obviously, Rafael Benitez changed the starting lineup a little bit. Probably should have mentioned that at the start of the stream, but there you go. He changed the starting lineup a little bit. Asmir Begovic started in goal. We had Luka Deem at left back, Seamus Coleman at right back, and Ben Godfrey and Michael Keane in the centre of defence. He changed the midfield. Alan and Abdoulaye Doucouré were on the bench to start this game, and Tom Davies and Andre Gomez were the starting midfielders. We then had a front three, a front three behind the striker of Andros Townsend, Demarai Gray and Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi playing in that number 10, his preferred position, apparently. Assumingly, maybe, I don't know. And then obviously we had Moise Kean starting up front. So the defence had a fairly quiet night at this point so far. Pumas weren't really getting on the ball, they weren't really threatening. It was all Everton, and you were sort of thinking, right, go out now and before half time, go and get a second, go and get a third, just completely kill this game off, and then we can make all the changes at half time, and we can just have a nice sort of second half where we're not really stressing. But we didn't. We probably should have made it 2-3-4-0, but we didn't. Like I said, although we were trying our best to create, we couldn't quite get the ball in the back of the net. Pumas had an effort towards the end of the first half, and it was tipped over by Asmir Begovic, and that's pretty much all that happened in the first half, to be honest with you. Everton were a constant threat getting forward. Like I said before, the biggest thing I took from the first half was fitness. We seemed a lot fitter in the first half of Wednesday's game than we did in the first half of the Millonarios game. Now, I don't know whether that's just because we've had a couple of days extra training, or whether that's because the opposition we were playing weren't as strong as Millonarios. I don't know, but we just looked a lot quicker. We looked a lot more, on the ball and getting forward and threatening, rather than on Sunday night, where the first half we looked a lot, a little bit lethargic and a little bit sort of tired, if you like. And maybe that was because it was the first time playing in those conditions, playing a competitive game in those conditions, whereas on Wednesday, obviously, we'd already had that experience, and it was a friendly and there was nothing really riding on it. So we were a little bit, I don't know, more comfortable, I suppose. But we looked a lot better, in my opinion. Anyway, we go in at half-time, and Rafael Benitez makes a host of changes. He makes a change to every player on the pitch except Luca Dean and Michael Kean. Luca Dean and Michael Kean, the only two players who started the game who remained on for the second half. João Virginia come on for Asmir Begovic, of course. No issue with that whatsoever. João Virginia's been over in Florida for the last week, working hard, training hard, so I think it was only right to, give him the opportunity to start, certainly given it was a friendly and there was nothing much riding on it. We had, various changes in the back line. Mason Holgate come on. Like I said, Michael Kean remained on the pitch to partner him. You had John Joe Kenny coming on at right back, and Joe Anderson come on at left back at one point. Abdoulaye Doucouré and Alan come on in the centre of the midfield. James Rodriguez, of course, come on as well, which was fantastic. Damari Gray and Andros Townsend made way, as well as Moise Kean. We had Nathan Broadhead come onto the pitch. Anthony Gordon come on as well, which was fantastic to see. And yeah, I think Alex Iwobi come on in the second half, didn't he? I don't think he started the game. Oh no, he did start the game. So yeah, he did start the game, and then obviously he come off, didn't he, midway through the second half. So yeah, it was a lot of changes. I think pretty much every change made, other than young Charlie Whittaker, who ended up coming on a little bit later on in the half. But yeah, Rafael Benitez, again, not shying in changing the side, not shying, ultimately giving opportunities to some of the younger players that maybe didn't have the opportunities at the start of the game, which again, I've got no issue with whatsoever. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the team up here so I can give myself a bit more of an indication. But yeah, no issue with it whatsoever. Gabaman, obviously, Jean-Philippe Gabaman come on at a point in the second half as well, which was really, really interesting to see. And just before the end of the first half, before Alex Iwobi actually come off the pitch, he had an opportunity which I thought was a really, really good opportunity for Alex Iwobi, and I think him not scoring this is the reason he didn't score it is probably the reasons to why a lot of Evertonians are maybe a little bit unhappy with Alex Iwobi and maybe not satisfied with him. He gets himself into a really, really good area, plays a nice 1-2 with Moise Kean. Moise Kean plays him in, and he sort of is dribbling. My thing with Alex Iwobi is on the ball, he's very, very, very good. His dribbling is absolutely fantastic. He can get his way out of really, really difficult situations, Alex Iwobi, and manoeuvre his way around really difficult situations. And he did it again on Wednesday night. He was in the box and he shimmied left and right, and he absolutely caught the defender out. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant play. And then you get to the easy bit and you're just thinking, go on, get the shot on target. And it's always that final ball with Alex Iwobi that lets him down, whether he drags the shot wide or whether he blasts it over the bar. It's always that final ball that you look at and you think you need to do better there, and it was the same again on Wednesday night. Look, I know it was only a pre-season friendly, and again, I'm not going to sit here and rant for 20 minutes about Alex Iwobi and why he should be doing better. We all know he should be doing better, but I just thought, when you do all that hard work and you manoeuvre your body in a way where you get yourself into a good opportunity, and he was literally one-on-one with the goalkeeper at this point. Now, it was a tight angle. It wasn't the easiest chance, it wasn't the easiest shot, but it was a tight angle. But he should be getting it on target. He absolutely should be getting it on target. For me, it's poor. Let's be honest, it's poor. Again, it's only pre-season, and I'm not going to sit here and go in on him, but it's poor. because, you know, if you're an attacking player, Premier League player, and you get yourself in the box and you've got a one-on-one opportunity with the goalkeeper, you've got to get that shot on target. You know, scoring a goal is different. The keeper might make an exceptional save, you might scuff the shot, and it mightn't go where you wanted it to go, but the bare minimum is that you get the shot on target, and he didn't. He tags the shot wide, and it's really disappointing because I thought that it was a really good bit of play. Moise Kean plays him in brilliantly, and Alex Iwobi shimmies his way fantastically, into a good area, manoeuvres his body well so that the defender hasn't really got a clue what's happening, gets into a clear position to shoots, and just tracks the shot wide, and you're thinking, you know, you've done all the hard work there. The easy bit is just get the shot on target, and, you know, he didn't do it, and I was quite disappointed with that, and a little bit frustrated, to be honest, because I'm thinking, come on, Alex, you're better than that. Because you look at the work, the hard work he done to get in that situation, and the easy bit, I just think he loses his head a little bit. I just think he gets it, the hard work for him is easy. Almost like because it's a challenge, and he savours that, and then when he gets into the easy positions, I think he just sort of panics, and I think he did it on Wednesday night as well. Anyway, Rafael Benitez made a host of changes, like I said. João Virginia coming on, John Joe Kenny, of course, Mason Holgate coming on, Alan Doucouré, James, Nathan Broadhead, Anthony Gordon as well. I think Joe Anderson come on, and then obviously you had the likes of Lewis Gibson and Charlie Whittaker come on, and John Philip Gbamin come on a little bit later on into the half. Everybody except Harry Tyler, I believe, featured in this game. That was on the squad, which was, you know, a little bit sad. I'd have liked Harry Tyler to maybe come on in the last 10 or 15 minutes of the game, but to be fair, João Virginia made a couple of really good saves in the last 10 or 15 minutes of the game as well, so I suppose there's that. But yeah, again, Everton come out in the second half, and it wasn't as entertaining as the first, was it? Let's be honest. We had again a couple of opportunities to make it 2-0. One where Anthony Gordon gets down the left-hand side, plays an absolutely brilliant ball into the box for James Rodriguez. James connects to it brilliantly, to be fair, gets a brilliant connection to it, but the goalkeeper ends up making a good save, to be honest. It is pretty much straight at the goalkeeper, but he stands tall anyway and makes a good save and tips it over. We had another chance where Nathan Broadhead got into a good area, found his way in the box, took it round the goalkeeper, rolled it round the goalkeeper really, really well, but just ended up running out of space, and I think he ended up winning a corner, which, to be fair to him, was brilliant in that situation, because he was pretty much on the side, on the goal line. And if he'd have tried to manoeuvre the ball, again, it'd have gone out. So the fact that he won a corner was fantastic. But again, it was a good opportunity, and it was good to see Nathan Broadhead. I must admit, watching the game against Millonarios the other day, I just thought Nathan Broadhead was a little bit off the pace. I thought he looked quick. I thought he looked like he wanted to get on the ball, look confident, look like he, wanted to sort of, again, take that responsibility and take his opportunity with both hands and show the manager what he was capable of. But I just thought technically he wasn't very good the other day. And I've been intrigued with Nathan Broadhead because he's not young now. He's 23 years old. He's just been given a new contract by the club. So if he's going to make it as an Everton player, it needs to be this season. And like I said, I really wasn't impressed with him against Millonarios. I thought he'd done okay, but not to the point where you're thinking, yeah, this lad could be an Everton striker going forward. This lad could be an option in the Premier League next season. Whereas on Wednesday, I thought he'd done well. There was a couple of times when he picked the ball up, he ran with it really well, he took players on, he got himself into a good area, and this one was one of them. He rounded the keeper brilliantly, and he was just unlucky that the angle was really tight. Otherwise, I think he'd have got the goal, and it'd have been 2-0. It would have been 2-0 to Everton. But like I said, Jean-Philippe Gbamin is on the pitch at this point, looking absolutely brilliant as always. How refreshing is it to see Jean-Philippe Gbamin? How refreshing is it to see him back in, I was going to say in blue then, but back in white and navy blue and yellow, of course, in the new third kit. Like I said, James Rodriguez, again, sort of struggled to get his foot on the ball, which I think was disappointing. If you're enjoying, by the way, please hit that like button. It only takes a second. 35 people watching. If you could get the likes up, it would mean a great deal to me. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. That would be absolutely perfect. But yeah, I just thought James sort of struggled to get his foot on the ball. Like I said, he had that one chance, which would have been an absolutely brilliant goal had he have scored it. Great ball in by Anthony Gordon, and it would have been a fantastic finish, but the goalkeeper ended up making quite a good save. And yeah, again, he didn't really have much else in the game, did he, James? To be fair to him, he wasn't really getting in the game. To be fair, he wasn't really didn't have the service players weren't really playing the ball into him in the right areas, and I think the second half of the game was much more of a just sort of hold up, and I think that's when we started to show, that we were maybe a little bit tired, we were maybe a little bit fatigued, and we were maybe getting to the end of a Florida trip where we'd played, we would been training and playing for a week in warm weather conditions, and I think a lot of the players were just a little bit, maybe a bit too tired, but yeah, like I said, again, we didn't create an awful lot in the second half, certainly not as much as we did in the first half. Obviously, Damari Gray had gone off the pitch at this point, so we lost that directness, we lost that player who was picking the ball up and moving into the areas and playing the balls through. Alan had come onto the pitch as well as Abdoulaye Doucouré. Don't think Alan had his greatest game. I really like Alan, and I think Alan's a fantastic footballer, and I think Alan, hopefully Alan will be a pivotal member of the squad next season, but I don't think he had his greatest of games the other day, to be honest with you. I really don't. I think he struggled passing-wise. I think it was off. I think his passing was awful, to be honest with you. I think fitness, he looks off, to be honest with you. I think fitness, he looks off, and maybe that's because, obviously, again, he hasn't played an awful lot recently, and maybe he needs a full 90 minutes under his belt before the start of the Premier League season, but I just think fitness has looked slightly worrying with Alan. But again, it's only pre-season, and there's nothing too much to be worried about. But yeah, like I said, Everton didn't really have many chances in the second half, didn't really create an awful lot. Moise Kean had one in the first half before he went off, which was an overhead kick, which we should have got a penalty for, let's be honest. I think Seamus Coleman plays an excellent ball in, Moise Kean overhead kicks it, and ends up, the defender ends up making a fantastic save, lashes his hands in the air, makes a brilliant save, and the referee just think he gives a goal kick in the end, doesn't even give a corner, so I'm not too sure what happened there. But Pumas did have a couple of chances towards the end of the game. João Virginia, obviously, he'd come on at this point, forced into making a couple of really, really good saves. Two pretty much identical saves. One where they manoeuvred the ball well into a good area. The lad had a shot and he gets down, really, really good, down to his right-hand side and tips the ball out for a corner. It's actually a really good save. On first look, it looks like it's an easy, comfortable save for him, but it's actually a really, really good save by João Virginia. And then the second one, I think Alan gives the ball away, ends up kicking it into a dangerous area stupidly, and again the shot comes back in, and like I said, João Virginia makes another really, really good save. But other than that, Everton held the game out, defended quite well towards the last 10-15 minutes of the game. Didn't really have much going forward, but ended up winning the game by 1-0, and obviously leaving Florida. We left Florida later that night. The players, I believe, obviously left the Camping World Stadium and were pretty much straight on a flight home to the UK the same night, so they'll be home, now, obviously being Friday. The coaching staff as well obviously left that same night, and I think all the other members of Everton staff, media staff, etc. left the following day. So yeah, look, again, another really, really good win, another really good test. Obviously it is only pre-season, and we can only take it for what it is, and that is pre-season. And it's all about fitness, and it's all about having an opportunity to look at players and try players in various different positions and see how capable they are of coming on and impacting the game, for example, with some of the younger players. Obviously young Charlie Whittaker come on towards the end of the game, which is great to see as well. Didn't really have an awful lot of opportunities, couldn't quite get his foot on the ball, but it was great to see him nevertheless coming on, and obviously 17 years old, I think really impressed in the under-18s and the under-23s last season, so it was great to see him coming on and getting that opportunity. But like I said, Everton leaving Florida with 2 wins, a penalty shootout victory against Millonarios, which obviously saw us win the Florida Cup, and then a 1-0 win against Pumas in a friendly on Wednesday night. Now home in the UK, and preparing ourselves for our next friendly, which I believe is against Manchester United on the 7th of August. Now I don't know whether Everton will have a friendly organised at some point between now and the 7th of August. Maybe another behind closed doors one at USM Finch Farm, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But a successful trip to Florida overall. Difficult conditions to play in, difficult conditions to train in, but ultimately the players, got over there and got home safely. No injuries, to my knowledge, and obviously 2 wins as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Big thanks to everybody for getting involved. We will get in the live comments before we finish up. As Aaron says, 2 games behind closed doors, 2 pre-season games in Florida, won the Florida Cup, 4 wins, no losses. Yeah, again, that's all we can, look, I try not to get too overly excited with pre-season, because I've seen Everton, go an entire pre-season without winning a game, losing pretty much every game. and then having a really, really good season in the Premier League that followed. And I've seen Everton have a really good pre-season, and then have a poor, Premier League season. Ultimately, all that matters is the Premier League season. It doesn't matter if you have a good pre-season or a bad pre-season, as long as your season, your Premier League season that follows it is fantastic. And that, let's hope that's the case for Everton. But also, you always want a successful pre-season, don't you? If you're staying up at 11 o'clock to watch Everton, you want us to go out and win. And Rafael Benitez has won 4 games, taken charge of 4 games as Everton manager so far, won all 4, and obviously, as Aaron says, won the Florida Cup as well, which is fantastic. And that's all we can ask for. Like I said, if Everton are playing a game of football, I don't care if it's against Liverpool, I don't care if it's against Manchester United in the FA Cup final, or if it's against Dave's under 18s on Scotty Road, or Dave's first team on Scotty Road. I don't care who it's against. I want us to win every single game of football that we play, and we've done that so far, so that's obviously brilliant stuff. Anyway, let's get into some of the live comments before we finish up. Eugene says Everton, Moise Kean on Stefan de Vries. There you go. Forgotten Well the Movie says, morning Cam, so far so good with the pre-season. Exactly, mate, exactly. We've got another video hopefully coming up a little bit later on today. Might be another live stream actually, talking a bit more in depth about pre-season as a whole so far, and what we've learned so far from pre-season. So look out for that one. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, why not leave it a like? It only takes a second. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. It massively helps us out. And if you're watching and you're enjoying, share it on social media, share it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Get as many people involved as we can. Chenla says, morning Cam, I'm watching you from the middle of nowhere, right at the top of Scotland. I'm on a road trip around the north coast of Scotland with me mates. It's right, mate, it's right, Chenla. Just want to say how much I love Gray. Yeah, he was brilliant, really. He was absolutely brilliant again the other day. That directness, I think we've been missing at Everton for a long time. A player that will pick the ball up and will just move forward, wants to create opportunities, wants to bring other players into the game. I think he was absolutely fantastic. Stephen says, only watched the first half, lots of positives, and one major problem is Alex Iwobi. We need to get him off the books ASAP, and hopefully we can sell Moise Kean. Look, again, he didn't have the greatest of games, Alex Iwobi. Like I said, he had one good opportunity where he got into a really good area, and he should be doing better with the shot, but ultimately, you can only sell players if teams come in to and want to buy them. And if a team comes in and wants to buy Alex Iwobi, then I think Everton will probably sell, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Eugene says, James, Delph and Dumfries. Not too sure there. Lukaku tweeting, James not needed anymore. Yeah, as according to the Liverpool Echo, apparently according to the Liverpool Echo, Everton have told James Rodriguez and Fabian Delph that if an acceptable bid comes in for them, that they are free to leave the club. I don't know why with James, because I think Everton should be trying to do as much as they can to keep James. We've saw over the last week in Florida that he is an absolute global superstar. The amount of Colombian fans that packed that Camp World Stadium out on both occasions just to see James Rodriguez wearing Colombian shirts. The amount of times you heard James' name scream from the stands was just shows the indication of how big of a footballer he is and how big of a sort of I suppose a global celebrity he is, and not only that, let's be honest, if James wasn't impacting the football at all and he was just a global celebrity, I'd understand why Everton are taking this stance. But James Rodriguez is still our most creative player. James Rodriguez is still technically our best footballer at the club. He's world class. He's the only world class footballer Everton have. So, well, I'd say maybe Luka Dean probably falls into that bracket as well, but he's certainly up there with one of the only world-class footballers that Everton have. So for me, Everton should be trying all they can to keep James Rodriguez. They shouldn't be encouraging him to leave, but maybe these are just rumours in newspapers that don't really mean much. We'll wait and see. Kev says, see all these boss players going to Man United and Chelsea, we've got a pound at sight. Well, again, Man United and Chelsea can afford to bring in these players because they bring in much higher of a revenue than Everton do, so financial fair play doesn't hit them as much. But there you go. Sol says, ooh, new background, love it. Nice one, mate, thank you very much. Love this new background myself, actually. Joe threw it together. I say threw it together, he didn't throw it together, he worked really hard on it the other day, and it looks absolutely boss. Obviously the new third kit involved there with Luka Dean and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I'm going to integrate the green screen a lot more into the channel, just think it looks a little bit more professional. So yeah, thank you very much, my mate. Danboy says, that midfield three in the second half was class. Gabam and Decore have so much pace on the ball with their passing. Yeah, I agree, mate, I agree. Moses says, morning Cam, morning everyone. We looked a little bit sharper, which was encouraging. Looking forward to the United game now. Come on, you Blues. Yeah, I agree. That's what I agree. I think that's one big thing to take out of the game on Wednesday is, you know, we can talk about how great Demarai Gray is, and it was good to see Moise Kean get on the ball and score his first goal for Everton this pre-season. But I think the biggest thing to take out of the game was we looked a lot sharper than what we did against Millonarios. Certainly in the first half, we were a lot quicker to the ball. We weren't making as many mistakes. You know, we were getting forward, we were creating chances, and we looked like, you know, the week of sort of hard and hot weather training had improved our fitness greatly, which was the point in going over there. Yes, we wanted to go and win the Florida Cup. Yes, we wanted to win both of our games, but the biggest point of going over to Florida was to play in those difficult conditions and to improve our fitness, through playing in those conditions. Danboy says Gbamin has to start matches for Everton. That pace and power in the midfield is exactly what we need. Yeah, I agree. I'd love Jean-Philippe Gbamin to start starting games, and I'm sure he will if he can remain fit. I'm sure he will next season. Kev says he is technically gifted. Iwobi, he is technically gifted, but his final ball needs an improvement massively. Sol says Iwobi's decision making is his biggest downfall. There you go. His low confidence shows, I think. Yeah, I agree. Carl says he's right, Cam lad. What's happening, Carl, mate? Up doing well. Kev says badly run club and another poor season ahead. Come on, let's be positive. Let's, again, who knows where we'll finish next season. Who knows what the season will bring. And look, I still don't think, I might put my neck out on the line here, I still think that Everton will sign two more players before the start of the Premier League season. I think one of them will be a starter, a player that'll cost us a bit of money, and I think another one might be a loan deal, or maybe another sort of Demarai Gray-esque signing where we bring them in on cheap and a very low risk and potential high reward. Danby says I still think there's a player in Iwobi, just needs to get focused and play centrally. Fair enough. Kev says we're still years away from being the top four clubs. Well, again, top four's a difficult one. It is a difficult one, and maybe we are still years away from being in the top four. But you look at the top six, we finished a couple of points behind West Ham last season, a couple of points behind Leicester last season, and you look at the games that we lost. If we'd have won, if we'd have beaten Fulham at home, or Villa, or Newcastle, or Southampton away, or any of those teams that we should have been beaten, we'd have been comfortably in the top six. So I don't think we're that far away. I just think we need to be a lot more consistent, to be honest with you. Danboy says we can't afford to replace Gomez and Iwobi. They both joined Everton as good players. It's down to Benitez to coach the best out of them. Interesting. Aaron says Gbamin looks really good if he stays fit this season. We're in a good way in that midfield. I personally would sell Gomez, as I don't think he is that good. I would as well, to be honest with you. Danboy says Aaron, sounds nice when you put it like that. We only conceded one goal too. It was a very silly one. Eugene says, where do you think Everton will finish in the Premier League season? I think 7th. I'm going to say 8th with the current squad. That will change, or could change, depending on who else we bring in this summer. Danby says Gbamin, Decore and Alan midfield three. It seems that Hammers on the right, Richie on the left, and the left fullbacks overlapping. I'd like somebody else on the right, to be honest with you, and Hammers through the middle. But there you go, fair enough. Danby says I think we can finish 6th. Let's hope so, mate. Let's hope so. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Alan says Danby, we need Hammers in a central role. Too slow for wide play. Tadil says disappointed in the news that Rafa has told Hammers to leave. Shows Rafa's mentality when he prefers praises Townsend over Hammers. Townsend couldn't lace his boots. But we don't know whether that's the truth. We don't know whether Rafa has told Hammers he could leave. We don't know what's going on there. Hammers might still be an Everton player come next season, and these rumours might be utter nonsense. So we'll wait and see. Alan says, Danboy, personally, I prefer Richie on the left and Gray on the right. Use their pace with Dom up top and Hammers behind. Fair enough. Danboy says, Hammers on the right works as an inverted winger if you had a right back overlapping him like Coleman did at the start of 2021. Interesting. A very interesting take, to be fair. Danboy also says, Aaron, who is in your midfield too, then Alan and Decore. I want Gbamin to start. Nice to have options though, mate. It is. You're spot on, it is. Mother says, world class but can't run. We're in no position to carry a play like that. Interesting. Plenty of Lukaku content, says Eugene. Adam says, I personally prefer Alan and Decore for now, as we can't risk Gbamin getting injured, but I do want to see him start. But it's the injury, Danboy. Yeah, I think Gbamin will. I think if Gbamin can stay fit, I think he'll start games of football for Everton next season, as he should, by the way, because he's looked brilliant in pre-season so far. Tattoo says, so frustrating that we can't even spend 50 million on Dumfries after spunking away so much over the years. That's why we can't. Because we've spunked away so much money over the years that it's now coming to bite us on the arse. Danboy says, too, and I agree about starting Gray. I felt for years like he just needs a run of starts to get himself going. That assist on Wednesday was fantastic. Spot on, mate, spot on. Mozart says, should be looking at Dan James of United if they're up for it. There you go, we're back. we're back. I apologise about that. The new computer is on its way now. It's coming today at some point between now and 12:30. So hopefully it'll be here for the next live stream. But yeah, look, like I said, for me, you know, again, I'd take Dan James on loan, not a permanent, because I think they'd want too much money for him. Jack says rather James over Townsend. Aaron says Cam. Well, why not both? We haven't brought in Andros Townsend to replace James Rodriguez. Aaron says Cam, how would you like our front line up to start? At the moment, I would like it to be Richarlison on the left, James in the 10, Demarai Gray on the right, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin in front. At the moment, that could obviously change depending on who we sign or who we sell. Jack the lad says we didn't even need to bring Townsend in. I don't rate him, hardly scores, and people remember him for that one worldie. I like him. I think he offers us something different, and for a free, basically, if you think of it like this, don't think of the Townsend signing as if we've brought Andros Townsend in to replace James Rodriguez, because then obviously it's going to look, you know, like it's an awful decision. Of course it is, because Andros Townsend, in terms of ability, isn't as good as James Rodriguez. We all know that. Think of the Andros Townsend signing as bringing him in to replace Bernard. Bringing a player in who is Premier League experienced, Premier League quality, you know, maybe £50,000-60,000 a week, more than good enough to be a member of this squad, to replace a player who wasn't suited to the Premier League, couldn't quite, you know, perform in the league, whether that's due to, you know, pace or physicality or whatever, and was on 150 grand a week. So we've replaced the squad player who was on a lot of money and wasn't really suited to the Premier League with a squad player who's on a lot less money who is suited to the Premier League. Human says he's a perfect squad player for us. Aaron says that's how I want it to perfect lineup up top. It's right. Moses says quality delivering from Townsend on, we'll love that. Yeah, I agree. And Jack the lad says Gray was Bernard's replacement. I don't think he was. I think Demarai Gray was just a fantastic bargain that Everton wanted to take the opportunity at. $1.5 million for a 25-year-old who could turn out to be a gigantic success. I think it was just an opportunity Everton couldn't really turn down. And look, Demarai Gray so far, albeit he's only played, you know, 2 games or 45 minutes in 2 games. He's 45 minutes each in 2 games. He's looked really good so far. Ian says, can Townsend play right back? I don't know, mate. I don't think so. He said he'd play wherever he wanted, didn't he? He said he'd play wherever the manager wanted him to play, rather. So if the manager wants him to play right back, I'm sure he will. Anyway, look, we're going to end it there. Then if you have enjoyed this video, then please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. Massive thank you to everybody for watching live. Really do appreciate it. Massive thanks to everybody for getting the live comments in. If you're watching the YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and we will get involved with as many of them as we possibly can. If you've enjoyed this one, please hit that thumbs up button. It means a massive amount to me, and it does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Please do subscribe. We're aiming towards 4,800 subscribers now. I think we're about 30 off, so if you could subscribe, it would mean a great deal to me. We're hoping to be back a little bit later on. I have got to go over to the hospital with my girlfriend who has damaged their ankle, but I'm hoping to do another live stream a little bit later on, talking about pre-season as a general and what we've learned so far from pre-season. So if that stream isn't today, it will be on Monday morning, but hopefully it'll be a little bit later today as well. So anyway, big thanks for watching. Please hit that like button if you have enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new as well. Stephen says, nice team, Cam. Cheers, Stephen. Jack the lad says, how many top teams have a big number 9? Fair enough. Moise says, cheers, Cam. Come on, you Blues. Is right, mate. Thank you very much. Moise says, Bernard was always leaving. He was. And Jack the lad says, we need a pacey winger, not a 30-year-old on the count. We need another winger. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we don't need another winger. We need another right winger. Absolutely. We need another winger. But it's the financial, you know, restrictions. Can we go out and spend the money we need to spend? I don't know. Anyway, big thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this one, leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon on The Mighty Blues.